Hi everybody, it's Mark Holmes here. I'm team leader of the SHIMANO carp groups, which is isolate and tribal. And if I seem a little bit excited and a little bit giddy, it's for one very good reason. Say hello to the new SHIMANO Aero Technium reel. I could extol the virtues of this all day, but I think the important thing that we need now to do is put it in a technical spiel out there for you guys that like the intricate detail. And there's no better person than our very own Richard Griffiths to tell us all about this fishing reel.
Everything's changed, all the components. This reel is a complete overhaul and it's geared up for long range fishing. Now there's two versions. You've got the XTD, which is aimed at the carp angler, culty dark cosmetics, and actually pays homage to the original black mag. And then you also have the XSD, which as you can see is like a molten liquid metal cosmetic. So what I'm going to do is take you through all these features that will tell you why this reel is better for carp fishing. Over the past 10 years, carp gear's been scaled up, geared up for and regular occurrences on the bank. You'll see 3 3/4 test curve rods. Now the Aero Technium Magnesium now has a 45mm spool, and that is nearly 30% more surface area of spool. That 30% means that on a cast you've got less friction on that line leaving the spool. Weight is a big factor in terms of distance casting. I always explain it in the same way as throwing a pebble or a boulder. You will always throw a pebble a much further distance because of the weight resistance. But what you need to take into account is that the spool is nearly 30% bigger. When you combine that with an ultra slow oscillating system, you've got a reel that can achieve extreme distances. The oscillation system in question is SHIMANO's world-renowned Super Slow 10. That's been redeveloped for this reel and will now lay 107 layers of line onto the spool per full oscillation, which is more than double any other reel on the market at this time. Super Slow 10 dramatically slows the speed that line leaves the spool. The way it zips forward and backwards. If you imagine on a reel without Super Slow 10, that line is going backwards and forwards at a very fast speed. And that's energy that's lost in the cast. If you can slow that speed down, you're transferring that energy to the lead travelling further. So it's more like a free-flying lead scenario. Now that's great. If you're going for a big cast and you're putting all that energy into the cast, you're going to get the maximum range that you want out of that reel. Other advantages of Super Slow 10 are less bedding in of line. Now that affects the drag of the reel. If you imagine when you're playing a fish, on certain reels you can hear the crunching and the grinding of that line leaving the spool. But because Super Slow 10, the line's so tightly compact together, it doesn't bury into the layer below. So you get a much smoother release of drag and better for playing fish under the feet. Super slow oscillation doesn't mean that your retrieve speed is any less. In fact, actually, in one whole turn of the handle of this reel, you're winding in 1 metre, 3 centimetre of line. That means that from extreme distances to wind in doesn't take so long. There are 2 new features also applied to the Aero Technium Magnesium. The silent drive is a better meshing and connection of gears, which can be seen with zero play through the handle of the reel, and infinity drive, which is bushing around the shaft of the reel, which increases winding power. Perfect for snag fishing in a reel where you need cranking power. A new feature applied to the Aero Technium Magnesium is something which we call rigid cast. Now, at the critical point of a cast when you're releasing the lead, the spool can actually pull towards the blank or the finger. With rigid cast, because the shaft is so stiff, when you release the line, it leaves at the point where you want it to leave, so you get a much more accurate cast. But also, at the latter part of the cast, when the line is leaving the spool isn't wobbling up and down. So, all in all, rigid cast is the stiffness of the shaft of the reel to improve accuracy and distance in the cast. by popular demand, you asked for it, we've applied it, the folding handle. It holds the handle screwed down tight to the side of the body of the reel so it can't cause any damage in transit. And also through the design of this handle, zero play, so when it's extended out, you've got that perfect connection to the gear of the reel. Inside, we've got high-speed drag, which is half a turn from locked up to fish playing, with a micro-adjustable clicker, perfect for playing those fish under your feet. Also, we have cross-carbon washers, which lower that inertia when you first start up the drag, so there's less sticking and it's a much smoother, controlled drag. These are all encased in a waterproof seal so that no moisture or dirt can get inside and affect the performance of those drag washers. It comes with a spare spool, and that spare spool matches perfectly cosmetically the spool that comes on the reel itself. And that's so if you want to use any of the different lines, that you can interchange those spools on a setup and your setup will look the exact same. These reels come with 3 line reducers, and they're simply plastic collars that clip onto the spool of the reel. There's 4 key points that they benefit. One is using less line, so you're putting the right amount of line onto the reel. Take less time, you're not having to spool up for a long period, putting all that unwanted line onto the reel. And also you get a better line lay. Because there's less line on there, there's the optimum amount of line, your actual line lay is much better. And would you believe it, weight. The reducers themselves weigh less than what the line would on its own, so you're actually reducing the weight of the reel as well. All of our reels come with a manual bail arm, and this is really a safety feature so that it's never going to engage mid-cast. Also, the bail arm is one piece, and that's made from titanium, which is one of the hardest materials out there. And that means that you're going to get no kinking, no bending on that bail arm. But more importantly, that one piece, the actual shape, always guides the line straight onto the roller. So you can never get any snagging when you're winding the handle. So it's been a long time in the making for the new Aero Technium. This has improved my casting distance and it'll increase yours. It's as good at distance as well as in the margins. Available in SHIMANO stockists, and it's worth contacting them because we know this reel will be in high demand.